Good morning. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller, and today I'm going to be doing the first half of my what solds for last week, January 17th through the 20th. It was still a really good week, but then this week has slowed down, which historically this time leading up to and through February is slow for me, which is why right now I'm currently doing an inventory. I haven't been good with doing inventories. Last year, I think I got through maybe about 7 shelves, which is probably about a fourth of my stuff, and then quit. I wasn't seeing many issues. My main problem is things fall out of a basket, or gets pushed behind and falls down in a shelf. That kind of stuff where then I can't locate stuff. That's my biggie. But I have seen a few recent videos on YouTube where people are saying their listings have been getting dropped. So I went through about 50 baskets the last 2 days and nothing had been dropped. All of my listings were on eBay. I couldn't find a couple of things, and a couple of things were in the wrong baskets, but all in all, I mean, very few problems. I'm going to get back out there this afternoon and try to get another row done, and then I'm hoping to get some help out there to make it go faster. But I'm happy with the results so far. I guess it was last week, I couldn't find something, which is what has really pushed me to do this. I never did find it. So I did take a defect. And then yesterday, of course, I found it in a box. I had some stuff on a shelf that I had to get off that shelf temporarily. Well, they never made it back up there. They've been sitting on the floor in baskets, and somehow this got in one of those baskets, and I found it. I've messaged the buyer to see if they are still interested in it and I could get it relisted. But they didn't respond to any of my first messages when I was telling them that I could not find it. So I doubt I'll get a response to this one, but I'll go ahead and get it relisted at some point. But, you know, that's what happens when you have 8,000 items listing. Sometimes something gets misplaced. And I've been using, just this past year, I started using the poly bags that seal. And sometimes, I've caught this a couple of times, a small bag gets attached to a big bag. And as I'm getting ready to put it away, I realize something's attached to it and I have to pull it apart. So, you know, that's a concern for me, that I don't always get those seals pushed all the way down. And, you know, something might get misplaced because I didn't notice that it was attached to something else. But that's been my biggie thing for this week, is trying to get this inventory done. Just so that I have peace of mind that everything is where it's supposed to be. It's also a really good time for me to get the plush condensed down, because right now sometimes it's just mounds because I just keep throwing stuff on top. But this way I can methodically Tetris stuff into a basket and, you know, maximize the use. All right, so I have sales, of course, from eBay. Some excellent sales. Wait till you see my best sale for the week. But I do have Facebook, Etsy, and Bonanza. Nothing from Mercari this time, but I have sold a couple of things since. So everything's kind of picking up a little right now for me again, but this last week has been really slow, which, you know, if you've been with eBay long enough, there's ebbs and flows. You know, it's the end of the month, payday, taxes, you know, people have got their bills from Christmas and just not spending as much, and it's fine with me. All right. This first item is from my online estate sale. It was a General Mills Cookie Crisp plush. It was still sealed in its packaging. I think these came in like boxes of cereal at some point, probably 70s, 80s. I'm not quite sure. I didn't see any dates on these, but I ended up selling it for $6.26. You know, I probably have pennies in it. These next two items, we've talked about buying small appliances and parting them out, and this is one of those instances. We bought a KitchenAid food processor. The base, again, did not work. I just have bad luck with that, which is okay because that's the heaviest part and usually the cheapest part to sell. But I went ahead and split this up. I've already sold 3 parts. This is 2 of them. Now, I paid $5 for the KitchenAid food processor. This was the bowl with the handle part, and I sold it for $26.95. And then this is the top and the like plunger thingy, and I sold it for $35.95. So I'm going to really focus on this type of stuff this year, I think, because we are making excellent profit just on these parts, and they're easy. Almost everything that is like this will fit in a large priority box. This is a Russ Snuggle Bear from 1986. It is one of the smaller ones, and I sold it for $8.25. This was a little finger puppet. It's Miko from Pocahontas, and I sold it for best offer of $8. I've been taking a lot of offers. I'm really wanting to get stuff moving. During my inventory, I've also been pulling some things that, you know I've had for a while. And in fact, I just took a bunch of stuff over to my booth, and some of it was stuff that I pulled from the inventory. It's just time to start cleaning house a little bit, and doing an inventory is the perfect time. And then I found something that needed washed, and then a few things that I'm going to make lots. So this was from that estate sale that we went to, where we bought all kinds of stuff we've never bought before, including that House of Hatton Santa sleigh. But this was a fireplace bellows. Just was very unique. I just kind of made up a price based on other comps because none of them looked like this one. And it did sell for $35.95. This is Petting Zoo. It was just a cute little lamb with the corded face. It sold for $15.25. If you're new to my channel or you've just started watching me, I do not include free shipping with my listings. So when I say something sold for $15.25, the buyer also did pay shipping. Next is, this came from my online estate sale that I've done many hauls on. This was one I almost was tempted to keep it, but it wasn't Fisher Price Little People, so I decided to go ahead and list it. It is the Play School Familiar Places McDonald's set. It did have quite a lot of pieces, but it was not complete. It did have the play mat here that did have some stains on it. And then these are the little figures. So if you ever see these type of cars or these figures, they're Play School, and they go to the Familiar Places. They have a Holiday Inn and several other play sets. I did take a best offer on this for $50. This is a Russ tan teddy bear. It is mini. It's only 3 inches tall, and it sold for $8.96. I love Russ. This is Fisher Price Little People Dinosaur. I sold it for $7.15. Sometimes I list the little people, the unique ones, all by themselves. This was from the online estate sale also. This is Russell Stover's. I ended up finding 3 of the little 4-inch plush. All of them were different, so I made a lot and sold it within a week for $17.95. I mentioned this when I showed this in a haul. These are from K&M International. They are an Audubon bird series. Each one of them makes a sound of the bird that is being portrayed in the plush. This was a red-headed woodpecker. The sound box did work. Sold it the same day I listed it for $9.95. Definitely keep an eye out for them, but make sure they work make sure you ship them in a box. These were from the online estate sale again. These were Hershey Kisses Plush, and they sold for $8.55. Like I said, I'm taking offers. This was a craft kit from the estate sale where we filled a bag for $15. This one, it was very cute. It was called Williamsburg by Elsa Williams, and I took a best offer of $25 for it. This is an Aflac duck. They all make sounds usually. This was one of the original ones, just kind of plain. It still did work. I sold it for $7.15. Again, mail it in a box. This was a Bryce Canyon coffee mug. It was embossed and dated 1985. I sold it for $13.45. Just a side story. I went out there many years ago. I think that was one of the nicest places. Of all the places we went, I enjoyed Bryce Canyon the most. Above and beyond Glacier, Yellowstone, and the Grand Canyon. Loved it. Want to go back. These came off of a return that was damaged. I had shipped a Presto electric skillet, pressure cooker type thing, and it got damaged. The leg, one of the legs was broken. I had the buyer send it back to me. I very seldom let buyers keep returns. I just would rather it come back and I would deal with whatever it is. And this one had lots of parts. It had the fry basket, and so I just parted it all out. These were the two unbroken feet and the handles off each end of the pressure cooker. And I ended up selling them for $22.45. So even just removing handles and feet off of stuff. This I picked up at an estate sale. It's JCPenney's. It was a ceramic tree nightlight. So it's kind of small, 10 inches. It was in its original box, and it sold for $26.95. These were the pajamas that could go on a Woodstock plush. I don't remember if I had it and removed it, or I just knew when I bought it that that's what it was for. And it sold for $11.66. Picked this up with, I remember being with my sisters. We went to like a little yard sale, and she had so much vintage breakable stuff. I bought this really beautiful cookie jar that I think is still listed, and it won't hurt me if nobody ever buys it, because I may at some point just pull it and add it to my cookie jars. But this was Federal Glass. It was a little juice cup with the, I guess it was from Mobile Gas. It had this little farm scene on it, and I ended up selling it for a best offer of $8. I picked this up at a yard sale over the summer, I believe. For some reason, I think I paid $2 or $3 for it. It was one of those fiber optic Easter tree type things. I record everything that I sell that is battery operated well, almost everything, but then I never post the videos. I need to set up a YouTube channel for that, like Courtney has, and then start doing that also, because I think it helps stuff sell quickly. Oh, but I ended up selling this for $18.50. Just very cute Christmas tree. I keep saying Christmas. Easter. This was an Eden Humpty Dumpty plush that had little chimes in it. It was dusty, dirty. It was one of those plush that I decided I was not going to wash. I just felt it would damage it if I did. So just stated in my listing, you know, that it was dusty, dingy, leaving all cleaning to the buyer. And it did sell for best offer of $20, and they've already left amazing feedback on it. Very cute. I love Eden. Robert picked this up at an estate sale. I want to say we paid either $3 or $5 for it. It was one of these thermos jugs. It did have its original box. It was just in a unique orange color, and I took a best offer of $25 for it. This is Ty Lightning McQueen from 2017. It sold for $12.95 immediately when I listed it. Multicolored rabbits and bears. I love them. This was from Main Joy Kmart. I showed this, I think, recently in a haul, and I ended up taking a best offer of $20 for it. These were one of the first things we showed from our recent sourcing trip to the St. Louis bins. Bought a bunch of different ones of these Santa Claus figures and sold this one for a best offer of $8. This was a Bumblebee hand puppet, and let's see, I sold it for $15.25. I have a little cheat sheet here because not always what you see here is what it sells for. This is Mattel Emotions. I've talked about this a couple of times. They usually have this little, sometimes they have a little plastic tag hanging off of them that says Emotions. I think I got this one. It was just on the tag like this. From the 1980s. Just a cute mama holding her cub, and it sold for $17.05. These were from the online estate sale also. It was a whole lot of advertising type plush. These, I listed 2 of them, and then I found 2 more, ended it, relisted it. These were all like blood bank, blood donor type plush beans, and sold it for best offer of $20. I could see a phlebotomist trying, buying these to, set up in their little cube where they draw blood. This was a brown bear plush, 19 inches, really fat, did not have a manufacturer's on the tag. I ended up selling it for $22.45. These were some of the things I've been kind of picking in stuff from like the remnants of the online estate sale. It's just a whole lot of loose toys, a couple of cartons of them. But there was like a bag, and when I looked in there, it's almost all Subway kids meal toys. Most of them were complete sets. I listed this and sold it probably within an hour. This was Subway Samurai Jack. Lot of 4, and I took a best offer of $30 for it. They had Blue's Clues, the girls, Powerpuff Girls, just lots of sets. Looney Tunes. I took my kids to McDonald's. What parent doesn't? I don't ever remember taking my kids to Subway, which would have probably been a wiser food choice for them. But these were some nice kids meal toys. This was just probably something I've picked up at an estate sale, a fill-a-bag, something like that. It was a little porcelain Christmas mouse ornament, and it sold for best offer of $8. Like I said, I'm taking tons of offers. This is the second one of these that I have sold probably in the last month. I see these all the time at yard sales. And Robert started picking these up. The first one I sold recently was a Salad Master set. And then this one was by Towncraft. I'm going to have to start really watching for these, and because you can get these for like $5 or less. They're just old school chopping up vegetable type food equipment. I've never used one, but I ended up selling this one for $35.95. And it had been just sitting here on a shelf, and I've been trying to go get something off of my dead pile and bring it over here and get it listed. These were from the sourcing trip we did to St. Louis. Robert brought a tote to me that was full of Littlest Pet Shops and food and a few things. I ended up, these just seemed the nicer quality of the food items. So I just kind of separated them out. There was some wooden ones. I kept them separate. There was some Fisher Price. I kept them separate. And let me see. I did sell this for $35.95. Just nice quality, thick plastic, not that flimsy see-through kind of stuff. I believe we got this from our the sourcing trip to St. Louis. This is Popo. A lot of times you see dragons and knights and, you know, little figures. Kind of in the same quality as Schleich. I think you could get these also at Toys R Us when they used to be open. Ended up selling this horse for $9.86. This is Okie Dokie. It's a little knit dinosaur, had a rattle inside of it. I think Okie Dokie was JCPenney, and sold it for best offer of $11. And then a viewer, I sent offers out on this, and a viewer, Alden, purchased this from me. So thank you very much, Alden. I sent him an offer of $6, which he did accept. Thank you very much. This was from our sourcing trip. It was a little Furby, and it was one of the cloth ones, and it should have had a little sound box inside of it, but it did not. A lot of the ones with the sound boxes was still selling for $20, $25. I went ahead and listed mine for $14.95 because it didn't have the sound box, and sold the same day. So Furby, definitely keep your eye out for the bean ones and this type that, and then of course the vintage ones. Even in non-working order, the vintage ones sell. This was Fisher Price Loving Family Dollhouse. I just kind of made a hodgepodge collection. It was some of the Christmas items, some of the kitchen items, a laundry basket, and I took a best offer of $10. This is Ty Tango from 1994. He sold for $8.96. I pick up Ty, especially if it's got its tag, or Pluffies, or some of the Pillow Pals, the Love to Babies. See, I like Ty. This was from the online estate sale. It was M&M's with Boyd's Bears. It was a little 3-piece gift set, and I sold it for best offer of $15. This is Russ Home Buddies. This is the snowman. I took a best offer of $10.25 on him. Some of the Home Buddies do really well. They are these little plush, and they're terry cloth. There's I think a gray striped mouse, I think, is one of the higher dollar ones. I picked these up at a yard sale. There was a paper bag full of just advertising stuff, and it said free. But it was like one per child type thing. And it was the end of the day, and I went ahead and asked her if I could go ahead and just buy the whole bag for $5, and she let me buy it. But this was the complete set. These are organs for drug pharmaceutical type stuff from Actos, whatever Actos is. I took a best offer of $20 on this, and the person who bought it said his girlfriend is in pharmacy school, and he thought that she'd enjoy receiving these. So, told you, this advertising stuff has been excellent. Now, this Dimdaco Lovey, during Christmas, I took advantage of the free shipping on Facebook Marketplace. This was one of the things I picked up. I forget how much I paid for it. It was in a lot, probably $10 free shipping, and I took a best offer of $35 just for this Lovey. These are Sesame Street curtain panels. I sold them for $26.95. I always watch for character pillowcases, sheets, curtains, any of that stuff, because normally, you know, it's a blast from the past that somebody's going to want to look for a grandchild, or what, you know, for some reason. But yeah. This. I showed this. I think this was from our sourcing trip. Robert picked this up and we didn't even realize it was Anthropologie. But I always talk about buying sloths. I do really well with them. Sold this probably within a week of listing for the $62.95. So definitely keep your eye out for Plush by Anthropologie. And here's my big sale for the week. This too was from my online estate sale. I originally found this first guy here with the broken leg and all of the accessories and had him listed, but of course, I think I still had him pretty high, like $80 or something. He didn't sell, and then throughout going through all the bags and doing hauls, I ended up finding this guy with the beard. Come to find out, they are from Mattel. One is called Big Jim, the other one is Bearded Josh. I went ahead and put them all together because some of the accessories that I had from the original went with Bearded Josh. So, took a while to sell this. I sent out lots of offers and then it sold for $116.96. Thrilling, thrilling. All right, here's a couple of Facebook, Etsy, and Bonanza orders for this past week. Little people, I sell lots of them. Again, a lot of times I do 2 for $8. This was a little seal and alligator. This also is Little People. It's from Lady and the Tramp. It was incomplete. It just has Lady and the table. And it sold for $11. And then this rubber face Santa. I had it listed for $36. Somebody sent me a message asking if I would take $30. I changed the price and she purchased it. It's from Superior Toy and Novelty. And then here's my Etsy order. I've had, I think, at least one more since this one. This is from My Little Pony. It's called the Pretty Perfume Rosette Pets from 1989. She ended up also sending me a message asking if I would take a little bit less, and we agreed on $30 for it. And then 3 Bonanza orders. This is a Snickers bear. He sold for $17.95. And then this was from our first time we went to Finders Keepers. Paid $1 for it. It sold for $9.95. It's a pet toy. And then this Hallmark pink Snoopy, he sold for $9.95. So all in all, that was an excellent 4 days of sales. Like I said, it has slowed down a little bit for me, which I'm okay. I've already, I have a set amount in my brain that I want to make each day, each week, and I'm okay when it goes down below that a little bit. For the most part, though, I usually stay about where I need it to be. So we are going, I've had 3 people who have contacted me to do the live working session. So we're going to try to get that all coordinated. I don't know how to do any of this. Robert says we're going to use like Google Meet and then make it like a Zoom where there'll be all 4 of us in corners. And we'll just kind of chit chat and talk about what we're doing and maybe share some tidbits of information with you and then just answer all your questions. I think I'm going to pick a morning this first time, and then the next time we do it, maybe I'll pick an afternoon so that, it's not, I thought this first time I'm going to probably do it while I'm shipping. Just that way, anybody who has shipping questions, I'll be doing it and hopefully be able to answer some questions. And then the others will be free to choose what they're going to be doing at that time. But I think it's going to be fun, and I'm hoping this is something that we can do quite often. That way, while we're all just sitting there working, at least we have somebody to talk to. I have Robert, but sometimes it might be better if I have a other variety of people to talk to during the day. I love him, but... All right. I better go before I get in trouble. All right, bye.